Hi everybody, my name is Jet, and all my life I've lived quite a normal life with my parents, working on our farm, but things have changed since I decided to move to the city center to work on college. I literally woke up a star one day. You want to know how that happened? Well, then watch the story. As I said, I grew up in the country with my mom and dad. Besides, there are two brothers in the family. They're now in middle school, and of the kids, the oldest is me. My father has always had high hopes for me. He believed that I have a great future because his heart told him so. I always thought that the only thing I would do after high school was take over my father's job. I didn't want him to work hard anymore, and I planned to take his place so that he could get more rest. But mom and dad argued. They talked me into going to college. First, it was expensive. Second, how could I leave home? Because without my help, wouldn't everything just collapse? I did everything around the house. I didn't shy away from hard, dirty work. Maybe that's why I'm slim and quite strong looking. Just kidding. I didn't think about beauty at all. I knew that I had to take care of my family. Anyway, it wasn't a long, hard conversation. I didn't agree to leave my parents and my brothers, and that my father said one thing, that he would never forgive himself in his life if he left me in our hole, working in an old job. I won't be able to die in peace knowing that I raised you and ruined you, leaving you without a chance for a future. My mom fully supported him, and then said that all these years they have been saving money for me to go to college, and who knows, maybe I could get a scholarship, which I highly doubted because I wasn't very good at school. Which was not to say I wasn't good physically. Well, eventually I agreed, and the day came when I packed my bags and left the village. I had no idea how much my life would change. When I arrived in the city and got on the subway, I noticed strange looks from outside. I felt really uncomfortable. Maybe it was my facial hair. I hadn't cut my hair in probably the last year, and my hair was almost down to my shoulders. Made a ponytail, but the stares didn't diminish. Then I felt my beard. Maybe because I hadn't shaved it in a long time. I've never been so uncomfortable in my life. I was confused and didn't know where to take myself. And after about 10 minutes, a girl came up to me and smiled and said that she knew me. How? I don't know you, I told her. She smiled and said, "You bet she does." And then asked for an autograph and took pictures with me and happily got off the right stop. When I went outside and stood by the burger place, 3 other girls came up to me and asked me for an autograph and took pictures with me. And one of them even kissed me on the cheek. It was so unexpected, but I loved it. For a moment, I even thought that this was just how visitors are greeted in the city. A little later, I started looking for an apartment to rent. While I was looking at the ads in the park, a stranger came up to me. I was already getting ready for him to start kissing me, so I pulled away just in case. But he came up to me, held out his hand, and called his name. The man introduced himself as Mr. Toby Turner, though he didn't really say anything to me, and out of pointlessness, I just said my name. "You must have just come from somewhere, judging by your suitcases. You're from far away, right?" he asked. I nodded my head, and then he said that he understood that I was on the road, probably hungry and tired, and that he was a producer for a local channel and wanted to offer me a job with a good salary. I didn't understand the gimmick. Why was he offering it to me? At one point, I even got scared. "What do you think, I'm selling myself or something?" I asked in a tense way. But he calmed me down right away. "Hey kid, chill out. I noticed you right away because you look like Thor," he said. "Like who?" I asked. "Haven't you seen the comic books or the Avengers movies?" He asked with even more surprise. "Watched what?" I asked again. "All right, look, just give me a call when you're up to it. I got a big project and I'm willing to pay you real money for it," Mr. Turner continued. And when he wrote a number with 4 zeros on the business card and said that this was the amount only for a fraction of what I could make in a quarter, I was quite blown away. I took the card, promised to think about it, and left to look for a place to live. In general, the whole thing was so dubious and delusional. What kind of an actor's double am I? I found myself in a small room, and it turned out that there was already a lodger there, and it was some drunk dude. All night long he was screaming in his sleep, jumping out of bed, and I kept on thinking that I wanted to kill him. I wasn't comfortable with that. I planned to get a part-time job before I started school, so I went to get a job selling tools. I was surprisingly hired, though the same evening somehow the owner discovered that $200 was missing from the cash register. I swear I didn't take it, but I was set up and it was always like the previous guy had shown and told me everything. To avoid the police, I gave him $200 from my own pocket and left with nothing. In the evening, that drunken roommate was waiting for me, who also peed on my bed. Can you believe that? I was trying hard not to punch him in the face. After packing, I went outside and sat down on the bench. Mr. Turner's business card fell out of his jeans pocket, and I decided to Google who Thor was. My eyes almost popped out in surprise. A man I really looked like. We even had the same hair color. I realized I hadn't been to the movies in a long time. And then I called Mr. Toby Turner. Came to pick me up an hour later. Brought me to his house. He had a gorgeous apartment with a gorgeous view of the city. We got dinner at a restaurant, gave me a ride in his new car, and then let me stay with him for a while. I could not believe that his work brought in so much money. And that night, he told me everything in order, taking his time. And so, I was lying in one of his 5 bedrooms, drinking very tasty orange juice. I thought, what have I got to lose? Nothing. In the morning, I agreed to the project, and Mr. Turner was very pleased. He told me that would be a lot of work, so I would have to work hard if I wanted to study in college at the same time. But my hard work would be fully justified by a good salary. If you work hard, in a year, you'll be able to buy a big apartment here, get expensive clothes, eat, and move your family here. Isn't that great? The producer asked, and I said, yeah. My family told me nothing yet, and I started my new job immediately. First thing, I was taken to a beauty salon. I got my hair done at all the wrong places. I was immediately handed a program for food, exercise, and a bunch of programs like meetings to work with Mr. Turner. The schedule of photo shoots and trips out of town. From the flow of information, my head was spinning. But the producer assured me that all this is normal. A couple of hours later, I left the gym and almost could not feel my body with the pain and spa treatments. When the nightmare was over, another one began. Anyway, my job was to do some stunts like a real actor, substitute when necessary, run meetings and stuff, and I do a lot of self-care. I was involved in different projects, and the producer was right. There was a lot of work. I hardly slept, did a lot of work on myself, I tried to keep up with my studies, and I was very good at helping my family. My career was improving. After about 7 months, I was already firmly on my feet, rented a nice apartment in the city center, bought myself a car, but the car I dreamed of actually. With the money I sent, my father made repairs to the house, they expanded the farm, bought more cattle. We were grateful, and I was happy. After another 5 months, I was already very homesick for my family and suggested they move to my town. Only my brothers were very excited, but my dad would not even listen to the sale of the farm. Then I offered him to rent it and live here with me. Again, we had a long, difficult conversation with the family. Only the last time my family persuaded me. This time, it was the opposite. In the end, they agreed. Today, they're coming to see me. I'm already waiting for them at the airport, arriving in my first car. Pretty soon, they'll see another side of life, and I'm happy to show it to them. I've learned that nothing in life happens by chance. And if you're given a chance at a better life, then why not grab it? What would you do if you were me? If you liked the video, then please leave a like and comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe.